Trooper Skottie Foster refilled her coffee and gave the counterman a nod, headed back out to her vehicle. She snugged her cup down into the well next to her and pulled her Explorer around to the west side of the 24/7 travel store, where a bright green Toyota pickup sat low on its back tires in the lot. She filled out a tow report form on the computer mounted between the Explorer's seats and pulled up OpenFox, the software used by the department to run tag checks. She stepped out and approached the vehicle on the driver's side. Thanksgiving was 3 days away, and the sky was flat and gray. Dizzy snowflakes eddied about, but there was no breeze, and she was sweating under her heavy uniform jacket. Skottie had been with the Kansas Highway Patrol for nearly 6 months, transferred in from Illinois. She'd grown up in Kansas, had left at the first opportunity, started her career and a family in Chicago. Now she was back, living in her mother's house and hoping for a fresh start, for a stable environment for her daughter, for some distance from everything that had recently gone wrong in her life. She had been required to go through 22 weeks of retraining after returning to Kansas, and she had used the time to adjust to her new circumstances. Back on active duty, she had been surprised to discover she was one of only a handful of female troopers in western Kansas, and one of 3 African Americans. But despite the usual stumbling blocks that came with any new position, she had encountered very little hostility or disrespect. She was tall, 5 feet 9 inches, and slim, with skin the exact shade and color of her eyes. She kept her carefully braided hair pulled back low against her neck so that she could position her hat properly when regulations demanded that she appear in full uniform. She had been watching the Toyota for 2 days as she made her rounds and had seen no one approach it. The wheel wells were crusted with rust, and the paint had peeled off along one side, leaving a dappled surface like a bruise. There was a toolbox tucked up under the back window in the bed of the truck, big and heavy, long enough to hide a body inside. She peered through the window to make sure the cab was empty. The driver's side door was unlocked, and she pulled it open, releasing a heavy odor of must and disuse. The radio had been pulled from the dash, the mats had been taken from the floor, the glove box was open and empty. She wrote down the VIN from the inside of the door and closed it, then walked around to the back and flipped open the toolbox. An ancient ball-peen hammer, a length of bicycle chain, a cheap pair of rusty pliers, blue rubber crumbling away from the handles. She closed the box and went back to her vehicle.